Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and today we have yet another Black Friday order. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said today, I have another order from when I went a little crazy during Black Friday weekend, Cyber Monday week, whatever. And I have no clue which order this is. It is from a weird website. I had, let me move it out of here. So this is a huge box. And on the sheet, or on the tracking information, it says it is from, whoopsie daisy. It says it is from Z Global Pacific. Yeah, it says it's from Global Pacific. I have no clue. It's got my name on it, so I know it was at least mine, not an Amazon order. But I'm excited to crack it open, so let's go. Okay, so out of the box here is the Brody Lee from the Vault exclusive Ring of Honor figure, and I didn't think I was gonna order this one. It is really like, it's no different than the Mattel one, essentially. Obviously, it's his Ring of Honor look, but it's the same like kind of shirt and pants that he was wearing. And I honestly, just off the look, I kind of like the Mattel one more, because it's got the loose shirt like hanging over his pants. But I do want to take it out and look at it. I feel like with Jazwares, their articulation varies a little bit more between figures, so even if they have the same mold, it still might move a little bit differently, whereas Mattel is typically pretty consistent, which is just like the name of the game with both companies. There's a lot of inconsistency with Jazwares, and like my expectations, for better or worse, like my expectation of Jazwares has gone down a lot. And there's figures I see and I think are going to be decent, but my expectations are low. So at this point, like, it feels like Jazwares' motto is, when you set your expectations low, we go lower. Like, there's things I find ways to be disappointed, unfortunately. So we've got Brody Lee here. I want to get him out, and I'll compare him to the Mattel, but we're not going to do a big review of everything. Just want to take a look around a little bit. So right after I get done talking about my expectations of being low for Jazwares, I take him out of the box, and immediately the top half falls off. And I know that's kind of like was one of the features that I was excited for, was the ability to swap torsos by just popping things. Holy moly. Like, none of this is attached. And I know it just pops in, but like, I always feel like all I do is bash Jazwares, but then I get a figure and I'm like, oh, that's why. So it is, my man cave is a little cold out here where the collection is. In here where the collection is, they've got some plastic on there, so just probably to help with staining. So I think this is the same mold as his other figures. I like the bandanas, like, that's cool. Jazwares does a good job with cloth goods, but it doesn't matter because it stains. So like, I can hardly count that. If we didn't have staining, Jazwares would have a lot of cloth goods that I used on even my Mattel figures. But that's a decent look. I mean, it looks good. The articulation is actually pretty decent on the torso. I think it's just kind of because it was stuck in the package. And the legs, yeah, like, this moves around. This is a pretty decent figure that way. I'm not gonna pop the hands on and off. That's one thing too, the inconsistency with the hands. Like, sometimes they're loose, sometimes they rattle around, which I have, like, every now and then I'll have that happen with Mattel, but it's just, again, Jazwares is just so inconsistent. I don't love the paint jobs on these. I don't think these look very good. I've talked about how I like Mattel's True Effects because they make beards look really good, and I think this is very like Figures Toy Co-esque. Just the flat, plain paint on the beard, no texture, no dry brushing, no like fading at all. Even the line for the beard goes, the paint on the beard goes above where the hair is sculpted. So, yeah, that's the Jazwares experience. But we've got more, so don't go too far. Here's the Mattel version, which honestly, the head sculpt, I mean, it's hard. This is accurate to how he was looking with the huge beard and the huge hair. Like, you can barely see, like, the eyes. It's a fine sculpt. This is obviously, you can do more, like, there's more character to it. So I don't know who I necessarily like more for the sculpt here. I'll probably put this sculpt on him. I'll just go ahead and do that. Oh, that ain't coming off. Okay, moving on. Next up is going to be the tag team of Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole here. And I don't remember what their name was when they were teaming together. I know they had a big feud in ROH, but I believe this is like when they broke into wrestling there. My ROH knowledge is very slim. I know of ROH. I know of a bunch of matches. I know a lot of the guys that went through there and had careers that really like grew there, but I really don't know a lot about ROH, especially like this iteration of Cole and O'Reilly. But like I said, I'll talk about the price at the end because this might have been the best deal of all of the Black Friday deals I got. So these I have a little more optimism for. I don't have the Kyle O'Reilly that they're making in the main unmatched line. I think it's unmatched. Same difference. But then the Adam Cole, I assume, is just like all the other ones as far as the formula and everything. So let's get these guys out. So out of packaging, I don't think this is the same Adam Cole body. I think maybe the torso. Something about the legs just feels different. So I don't know if it's the crotch piece is a little bit bigger. It seems, I don't know. Something just seems a little bit different with the Adam Cole. These legs move a lot better. I think it's a larger crotch piece to accommodate the legs. So I like that, and I actually like the head sculpt. I think mine's printed a little bit off, I think. But for the young Adam Cole look, I'm actually pretty happy with that. And then I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. I think this is a really nice Kyle O'Reilly figure. I like it more than what we got from Mattel. The head sculpt is obviously the younger look for him. He's got the faux hawk and everything. He looks like he has a baby face. I don't know what Jazwares uses for their head sculpt. This one clearly has some sort of like True Effects kind of look to it. You can see with the eyes and the stubble on the beard there. Like, that looks good. I don't understand what Jazwares does, or if they pick and choose who's gonna have I don't know what it's called, so I just say True Effects because that's what I know WWE calls it with their figures. But you can see they've got like that matching green and gray, and like I was saying with Mattel, Mattel's figures of O'Reilly and Bobby Fish as well, I liked, but they're so small, and now we are getting figures with bigger legs like the Pete Dunne, but they are shorter still. So they're keeping them in scale and giving them thicker legs, which I would have loved to have seen. Maybe I'll just pick up a couple Pete Dunnes, make some new Kyle Fish and or Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly figures. But until then, Jazwares, they did a good job with that. So I will give them their credit where it's due. I actually think this is a pretty solid 2-pack, even if a lot of people probably aren't going to buy it. Like, it's a very, very niche thing with young O'Reilly and Cole and ROH before, if you're here, you probably understand. Anyway, we've got one more before we wrap it all up. So this 2-pack is why I decided to Even check the Jazwares site. But we've got the Jerry Lynn, Nigel McGuinness 2-pack here, and this was one that like blew my mind because it felt so random to me. I didn't know. I guess I still don't know if these guys feuded in ROH. I assume they feuded over the ROH belt here. But the Nigel McGuinness was really cool. Obviously, this is his look, his old look. Not his all in. Yeah, I think it was all in look of the modern look for Nigel. But I don't know anything really about Nigel McGuinness other than like what I've kind of read about since he was in WWE, and I knew he wrestled. So it's pictures I did look up this seems pretty spot on, but I want to get it out and see how this Jerry Lynn scales with some other figures, as well as Nigel. It looks like he's really tall, and I don't know how tall he actually is, so I really want to get these out. Okay, so for these guys, we've got the coat over here with Nigel. Here he is with the ROH belt as well, the head sculpt with the spiked hair, and here is Jerry Lynn. So the first thing I want to note with the Jerry Lynn is that I haven't looked at the torso, but I don't like the legs for him. He was like very built up top, kind of had, I'm trying to think of someone who'd have his build. Nothing's coming to mind. Like Benoit, where he's like real like big up top and then had like skinnier legs. So I don't really like this mold for him. I don't know Jazwares as well as I do Mattel, so I can't think of someone off the top of my head. Like the boots are skinny, and then the thighs are just a little too thick. I think. Let's move the camera down. I can't get these guys to stand for crap. Look at this. So here we go. The Jazwares experience. Look at this Nigel foot. It's so loose. It's awful. Like, it can almost just spin around. This is what Jazwares does to me. It's like, just looking at him, not touching him, not articulating, I'm like, yeah, they're fine. And then I start moving them around. Jerry Lynn is pretty solid. I'll get the shirt off there. The shirt looks fine. So my work in progress Wednesday Jerry Lynn is like the same attire. So I'll get mine out and compare it. Good Lord, what in the world? Let's give up there. The Nigel McGuinness, I don't know about the likeness for the head sculpt. When I look at pictures of Nigel McGuinness from this time, I don't think it looks like Nigel McGuinness. I only knew him in WWE and like now with the beard and like gelled comb styled hair. So this is just odd. We'll give Jazwares their props. Let's just say it's a good sculpt for him. Out of the shirt. So one thing too with Jazwares with their cloth goods, like they put the plastic on, but it doesn't always help with staining. But then like even once I get it, if I take the plastic off, it's gonna stain anyway. And then it's like Jazwares is just kind of like, well, it's in your hands now, so it's your fault if it stains. Which we don't have any staining here. This torso. Nope, can't place it. Maybe, no, not Jake. I was thinking like Jake Hager, maybe with this torso. The Jerry Lynn, so I'm going to say, oh, this jacket too. I've seen some pictures of this jacket. This is pretty rad. They did that pretty well. I still got some plastic on my Jerry Lynn. The head sculpt on Jerry Lynn, they nailed. I think that was one of the big sellers for me picking up this set. What in the hell? What are we doing here? Okay, I have to fight this with the might of 1,000 armies, so we'll be back. Okay, so got the tape off, which left like sticky tape on the back, which, like, what the world? This is like the opposite build of Jerry Lynn. He's got big legs and he's smaller up top. So if I just cover up the bottom here, great looking figure. But I do not like that leg choice for him. But like I said, head sculpt, that is spot on. That is a really nice head sculpt for Jerry Lynn. So I got some tape there. This is the Kenny Omega torso, I'm pretty sure. And then I cannot tell on these Jericho legs, I think. I can't tell. But I wanted to compare. So I told you I was going to grab my Work in Progress Wednesday Jerry Lynn that I did. And then I have some other Jazwares figures, because before we wrap it up fully, I want to look at some heights for these. Okay, so here's my version of Jerry Lynn alongside the Jazwares version. And while I like how I have the dry brushing and everything in the hair, I do like that more. This was from Head Gimmicks, and I liked the sculpt. I thought it was a good sculpt. I still think it's a good sculpt. But Jazwares knocked this out of the park. I'm really, really impressed with this. But the build for him, I'm just not happy with. I mean, I'll try and pull up a picture, see if I can find a picture. Like, I'll post a picture of these two with a picture of him on my Instagram. But Jazwares just did not get his build right. He's got skinny legs and a big, he's got that just like triangle kind of build to his torso, and that kind of kills it for me on the rest of the figure. Waist down, crap. Waist up, fantastic. So that's the typical Jazwares experience. But I said I wanted to talk about some heights, so I looked these up. Jerry Lynn is billed at 5'11". We'll put Jerry Lynn right there. Nigel McGuinness is billed at 6'1". So that's a 2-inch difference. I can't get him to stand very well. So he might appear a little bit shorter. So I don't know. You can decide whether or not that's a 2-inch difference in scale. Next up is someone else who's also 6'1". So here is the ringside exclusive Jeff Jarrett, who is also 6'1". So that might be more accurate for being 6'1" compared to 5'11" for Jerry Lynn here. Next up is Sting, who is 6'3", and this is the Supreme, so technically a different line. Oh, I could probably get him in there. That might help a little bit. Let's just move everyone back. There's 6'1" Jeff Jarrett, 6'1" Nigel McGuinness, 6'1" Jerry Lynn, and 6'3" Sting. So there, the scaling is not great. So we can even throw Brody Lee in here, who's 6'6". So he should be big over there. But there's supposed to be 2 inches between Jerry Lynn and Jeff Jarrett, and then 5 inches between Brody Lee and Jeff Jarrett, and it's just all over the place. It's just, it's so frustrating, because like I said, Jazwares is always, it's just right on the edge there. They've got some things that are awesome. Even within one figure, they get the top half right for Jerry Lynn, and then the bottom half I hate. For Nigel McGuinness, that's a decent figure. He might be a little tall, but then I can't tell because he's supposed to be the same height as Jeff Jarrett, who, his body I think looks great, but then I'm pretty sure that's the same body they use for MJF, who is not 6'1". It's just all over the place, and some stuff is nice and in a vacuum by itself. You look at it and you're like, yeah, that's good, and then I start comparing it to the rest of the line, compared to Mattel, which I don't really do anymore. I have different standards for them, but let's just grab the other guys. I've picked up a lot of Jazwares over Black Friday so far, and it's been hit or miss, and that kind of comes with the territory. It's expected. I don't regret any of the pickups. Who else did I have? Is that everybody? Yeah, maybe that is everybody. I had some more Jazwares pickups from my ringside order, but I don't think I have any more coming. I don't remember. I don't remember. I just unbox as they show up. But that is it. So I got everything here. I had to cut out for a second and do a little price check. So I got Jerry Lynn, Nigel McGuinness, Cole O'Reilly, and Brody Lee. I got all of them for $64, including shipping, tax, whatever fees, whatever. All five of them were $64.50. And on the website, so without any discounts, the Cole and O'Reilly pack are 50, Nigel McGuinness and Jerry are 50, and Brody Lee is 30. And when I just peeked now, there is you can get a bundle of those five for $100, which is still shows a discount. And then it's like buy one get one 50% off. So I didn't like calculate how much everything would be, but I looked at the bundle and I was like, oh, that's a decent price. And then I waited. I kind of forgot about it. I wasn't willing to pull the trigger there. And when I pulled up that webpage on the following Monday, on Cyber Monday, they had another like 40% off discount. So I got these guys with free shipping for $60 for the five. And that's an awesome deal. Like that's something I'd find on eBay picking up some fodder lots where everything's discounted. Not quite to my $10 figure threshold, but really close and a huge discount from where they were. So for me, that was worth picking up. And now getting 5 new ROH figures, I'm going to start making a little ROH section of my shelf. So that's just going to be more figures to add to the collection, add to the custom list. But that is it for today's Jazwares unboxing. So I mean, overall, pretty happy. I knew what I was getting. So like I said, the expectation was low. I don't think I came away too disappointed, just some minor nitpicks for the most part. But if you stuck around, I appreciate it. If you still collect Jazwares, I would love to know, because I've seen some people, especially with like the Chase figures, just kind of getting out of collecting AEW, which is unfortunate. Like you want things to keep going. I don't know who else would even pick up the line if like Jazwares died out, but that's for another day. We'll talk about that another time. We're in the comment section. Outside of that, please continue to like, share, subscribe. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure dude.